Hello you guys, welcome back to Kendall's Voice. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe in order for me to continue to make more content for you guys, and that way you guys can go on a journey with us. I did receive DMs asking me certain questions, and I'm going to answer two questions today. The first question is, was I afraid to have more kids after I had a child who has a developmental delay, so who has special needs? And to answer you guys' question, yes, I was super afraid because I didn't know why Ken was diagnosed what he was diagnosed with. Like, did it come from me? Did it not come from me? We did take hereditary tests to figure out which line of infantile spasms he has had, or it's also called the West syndrome, to see which one he had, but the hereditary one came back negative. All three came back negative, honestly. But I did not know why. So that question always sits in the back of your head. It's like, I know it came back negative, but what if it was something else? What if it was something that they didn't test for? So to answer you guys' question, yes, I was petrified. I was super afraid. I was like, oh my goodness. And then especially if you have a boy, because boys typically tend to have a developmental delay over females, statistically speaking. I did a lot of research. I did, especially after I had Ken, I researched a lot, and then to find out that you're pregnant, when I did, decide to get pregnant again, in the moment of it, I couldn't let, and this is just how I am in general, I can't let the past reflect my future or make decisions. I learn from them. I do things a little bit more differently, but some things is just out of our control. And you can't be afraid to move forward, because that means you're just stuck in the past. And I didn't want to live in the past, didn't want to be stuck in the past, didn't want to go on and continue to live life with what ifs. So when I did become pregnant, I did go to the doctor and ask a lot more questions, ask for certain tests to be done, just to make sure and just to see if, that way I would be more prepared than I was of the unknown. So, but everything always came back normal. Everything always came back good. I didn't have any issues. The second birth was actually the easiest birth ever, because I was already 8 centimeters dilated when I went to the hospital. So it was hard though. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about it. It'll be nice that I think about it. When I first got pregnant with the second one and I became sick, it just took me to flashbacks as when I was sick with Ken. Because I was like, please let me just be sick for the first 3 or 4 months. And I was actually only sick for a month. That's it. I gained weight. I was able to live a regular life throughout the duration of my pregnancy. Once I passed that hump of morning sickness, it was actually, when I wasn't sick, when I started to feel better, that was like a sigh of relief. I was like, okay, so this part is different. And then I'm growing. I'm getting bigger. I'm eating. I actually have an appetite. I'm actually going outside and doing things differently. So all of that made it easier for me, made me stress less. When I went to the doctors, I wasn't like on pins and needles waiting to go to the doctor just to see, the results of what they say and things like that. Sorry, you guys. So it was easier for me, but initially I was scared. I was super afraid. I didn't know what to expect, but I felt like God led me to do what I needed to do, and I felt like he blessed me with boys to be there for Ken when Ken gets older. So, you can never be afraid to take that chance, because even if the second one did have a developmental delay, it would have been hard, but he didn't. So it's like you tried, you give it a chance. It may or it may not happen. I know some people who does have a special needs kid, and their other kids have some type of special needs as well. Whether if it's speech, if they're autistic, anything ranging from that. So it's hard. I'm sure it is, because just with one is extremely hard. So having multiples, yeah, and then you wishing or wanting to have just that one, to live a life that you want to see your child live. So I get it and I understand it. But in my situation, that wasn't the case. And then the second question that I was asked is them actually, like, them growing up to, see Ken, do they have questions? Because the middle child's old enough to start asking questions. So let me tell you guys a little story or two. So last summer, we took the kids. I didn't even tell anyone this. I was so heartbroken. Internally, I just kept it to myself. I told one person. But other than that, I kept it to myself. And I told this one person just recently. So last summer, I take them back home, which is to Virginia. And we just have a great summer. We'll go to different states, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and just take them to different places, different amusement parks, and just let them enjoy their summer. So we was going to, I think it was either Kings Dominion or Busch Gardens. I can't remember which one because we took them to both. But we was all getting out the car, all of my nieces, all of my nephew. Well, I only got one nephew that's here. But my nieces, my nephew, my mom, my sisters, we all was there. So I was just getting out the car, and my middle child, he was like, you know how when you're parking and sometimes they have the handicap sign on the pole, or have it painted in the street. So this one was painted in the street. And my middle child, we were just walking, not thinking much about anything, and he was like, "Mommy, that's Ken." So I'm looking, because I got Ken hand, I have the baby on my hip, and then he's walking. So I'm like, "Ken right here." He was like, "No, that's Ken," and he was pointing to the handicap sign by where you could park at, in the parking space. And I was like, my whole demeanor just changed. I felt like so sad, but I said, "Why you say that?" And he was like, I said, "That's not Ken." And he was like, "Yes, it is." He said, "Look at him." And I was like, "But why you say that?" And he was like, "Because they both need help." And I was like, I said, we all need help. We just need help in different ways. I said we all need help. We just need help in different ways. And he was like, "I need help too." I said, "Yeah, you need help sometimes. I have to teach you stuff too, just like I have to teach Ken." I said, "The only difference is yours is more internal and his is external." He was like, "Oh, okay." And then we just went and played. And I have to do everything with Ken. So they was in a big pool area. And that thought just kept crossing my mind, because I was like, he's getting old enough, to know and to see or figure out or wonder why Ken is how Ken is. So now the talks is about to start happening, and I'm gonna have to break stuff down, and I'm gonna have to put it in kid-friendly terms, just to let him know, you take up for your brother, you be there for your brother. He's just different, but we all are, but help him along the way, because he's going to need your help. he was like, okay, I will. I'm sorry, you guys, this part, because you don't want, your child to be judged or them to be seen as less than. So outside kids, I expect, but when it's coming from, your own, and they living together, they are together, and they have questions, you have to answer those questions. You have to open up. You have to break everything down, everything, so they can have a better understanding, so they can be there for them, so they can speak for him, so he can speak for him when he's not around, or someone was to say the same thing. He could learn. I can teach him some stuff to say and how to maneuver through certain situations when I'm not around there, because they go to the same school, and he's able to to not be embarrassed, but to actually know what's right and what's wrong and stand up for that. So that's what I'm trying to teach him. It's just hard because this situation itself, just me even talking about it and putting it on YouTube, is a new raw emotion. And then you putting it out there for everyone to see and for everyone to judge and for everyone to have questions. Or some people are just mean. They're just mean. So, but I decided to do it. Like I told you guys in the first video, I just felt compelled to do so. I don't know if this may touch one or two people, or maybe just to have a voice. Because, when you put stuff out there, it lingers for a long time. So just because I may not get the type of views that I would think that I would get, to put Kendall's story out there to help others, or if it may not have met the person that it is meant to meet yet, that doesn't mean that his story or anyone else's story is less valuable. So, but I had to get myself together, and enjoy the day, because I knew he meant no harm. It was just a question, and that's how he sees Ken. But I didn't know that's how he seen Ken. I didn't know that, And then the second thing was, we was, when they get from school, I'm off work, I put them in the tub, they'll get out the tub. The middle child's old enough to get his own night clothes, get his own underwear, things like that. But I'm in there, we all in my room, and I'm putting on Ken clothes and helping the youngest one. And out the blue again, he was like, he said, Mommy, Ken's 10 or 11. And I was like, Ken 10, he's not gonna be 11 until September. He was like, oh, okay. He said, so do Ken need a new brain? And I was like, no. I was like, why you ask me that? And at the time, I was standing up because, like I told you, I was helping Ken put his clothes on. But I just sat on the bed because I was like, a year ago, you referenced him to a handicap sign, and now you asking me if Ken need a new brain. And I was like, no. I said, he don't need a new brain. I said, everyone's brain is different. Some can articulate more than others. Some catch on more than others, and some just have a hard time doing certain stuff. It's just who we are as an individual and who we are as a person. Does it make us less than? No, because there's some traits that we can have that others may want, and vice versa. So, but I was like, no, Ken doesn't need a new brain. I told him, what I told him in regards to what I just told you guys. And he was like, okay. I was like, well, what made you say that? And he told me, because they on the same hallway. It's a kindergarten hallway, which Ken is on his hallway. And he was like, I walked past Ken class, and Ken, Ken had to sit there, and the teacher asked him something, and he couldn't answer it. I was like, do Ken answer me when he's at home? And he was like, sometimes. And he was like, but you talk how Ken talk. I was like, I do? And he was like, yes. He said, when Ken says one word, you repeat it to see if that's what Ken want. He was like, but the teacher didn't do that. The teacher asked him a question and was waiting for Ken to say yes or no. I was like, oh. I was like, but she's helping him. She's grooming him to be able to answer a yes or no question. I said, it's easy to you to answer a yes or no question, but it's not easy for Ken to answer a yes or no question. So she's helping him. And he was like, was Ken in trouble? I was like, no, Ken's not in trouble. And I love Ken's teacher this year, Miss Macy. I love her. She has helped Ken tremendously within, this year hasn't even ended yet. And the growth that Ken has done in such a short amount of time is tremendous. Tremendous. And he does not play with her. Last year, they was like, oh, he needs medicine. You know, he has to be on some type of medicine because he's hyper. He's not sitting down. He's not paying attention. He's disturbing the class. This year, Ken has not taken, I have not given Ken not one pill. They had ended up putting him on Adderall. But when I gave it to him a couple of times last year, he wasn't himself. He didn't want to eat. He didn't sleep, and he's already small, so him not eating made me feel really bad. So at night, he would stay up later, and that's the side effects from Adderall. But this year, nothing. He listens to her. He sits down. He has learned his numbers. He has learned his letters. He has learned how to count. He's now in the process of using the restroom by himself. All of these things Kendall was not doing, and it helps because he's at school most of the time. So when he comes home, I help him do the same thing that she's doing at school, and then on the weekend I'm doing it as well. But a lot of these kids is going to learn more at school because they're there most of the time. And his teacher actually told me that. She was like, well, he's here most of the time, so it's for us to help him reach certain goals. If I ever was to hit the jackpot, it's certain people in certain hospitals that I personally would give to, and she would be one, because she has one of them people that's like, not to mess with, but they are so sweet and so kind, but don't cross them. I feel like that's her. That's her type of personality. That's her demeanor. And I will forever be grateful. Forever be grateful. But yes, you guys, those was the two main questions that I had. The first one was I afraid to have any more kids after finding out Kendall had was developmentally delayed, had special needs. And then the second one is the take on the kids, accepting Ken and knowing his diagnosis. Is it easy? Is it normal? Do they ask questions? Does he ask questions? Because the youngest one isn't able to ask questions yet. But I answered those questions. If you guys have any more questions, please leave a comment down below. I'll be more and able to go ahead and do a video on that, even if it's like a touchy subject, because this all is touchy. Some people don't feel comfortable enough to speak on it. And me personally, it took me 10 years to even talk about it. So, but everybody has their story, their path, and their time. And I feel like right now is me and Kendall's time. Please, you guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment, and I will get back to you guys on the next video. Thank you.